Yo, RX finally back with another breakdown of UFC Denver Namajunas versus Cortez. We are finally back with some UFC after a week off after 303, and a much needed week off, because without that week of no fights, the UFC would not have time to save this card. With that week of being able to book this card and save it, they've actually made it a pretty decent card. Now I'll give them props for that, and I will point out those fights that they have booked in the last week and a half, with the time they've had to save this card, because I'm like at the start of after 303, this card had 8 fights. It might still had Barber on it, and now it has 12 fights, and they weren't bullshit fights, but they actually did book legit good fights for this card late on very short notice. So first of all, respect to all those fighters, and I'll get to those guys. That's the first thing. Second of all, we give the UFC a lot of shit, me included, me especially, I should say. But we gotta give them props. They've went above and beyond to save this card. I'll say this again at the end of the video probably, but we gotta give the UFC their props when it's due. Is this card amazing? No, not at all. Look at the fucking main event. But is this card better than what it did? Is this card got saved from the depths of hell? Yes. Again, 2-3 weeks ago, it had 8 fights. 8 fights, and they were really no good fights. 2 weeks later, it's a 12-fight card, and those fights that they did book are pretty good. So, good job, UFC. Thank you for at least trying for once. And unless I'm right forgetting something to say, let's break down some fights. It's been a minute since 303. Coming off a really good card like 303, it's gonna be interesting to see how they bounce back. They got 2 really iffy fight nights, this one and next week, so we'll see if they can overperform as we head into 304 in a couple weeks. So, enough rambling. Unless I'm forgetting to say something, please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. Can't believe we're at 54. Things I couldn't even fucking dream of. But yeah, let's see. Can we hit 100 before the end of the year? Got a couple months. Fuck, bare minimum 60, 70, 80 would be neat. But I'm not a beggar, so I don't get to choose. So whatever we get, I'm gonna be happy. So. But enough of me rambling. Let's break down some fights for the first time in 2 weeks. So, you want to break down some fights? I know I'm excited too, even with this card not being good. It's some UFC. Because last week all we had was Masvidal and Nate Diaz, which was decent, but that's not a UFC card. So, let's break down UFC Denver. As we have 12 fights, and we begin with one that was literally booked yesterday. Not even bullshitting you, literally booked yesterday. As we begin the night in the, well, is it welterweight or is it catchweight? No, they're really gonna cut to 170. As we begin the card at welterweight with a fight between Evan the Phenom Elder versus Darrius Beast Mode Flowers. Yeah, this fight was literally booked yesterday. Yeah, either yesterday or Tuesday. And no one's stepping in. This was literally booked straight up. This fight was booked like 24, 48 hours ago. So these guys, fuck no cam. These guys ain't getting, they're barely getting time to fly into the fucking place. So, respect to these two for saying yes to this fight. They're getting probably paid a good amount, so as they should for doing this. So hopefully it's a good fight to begin the night, and let's begin the card we're talking about. Evan Elder. Elder in the UFC is 1-2. His one win is Gerardo Valdez, and his 2 losses are Preston Parsons and Nazim Salikhov. The Nazim fight, still a very questionable loss, and I'll get to that in a second, but yeah, Evan really starting to grow into a UFC fighter. Like, you can tell in his debut, he got completely destroyed by Preston Parsons, but it was a short notice debut, and he did his best, but not much you can really do. And then in his second fight against Nazim Salikhov, he looked great. He was winning going into round 3 from what I remember. I believe he was up 2-0 on the scorecard, and Nazim got bailed out, putting a big cut on Evan's head, which made the doctor stop it, which is kind of bullshit. That, especially since they ruled that a loss. So, a little bit of bullshit, but yeah, if you know, Evan Elder was probably going to beat Nazim Salikhov, which is insane to think now, especially with how hyped up Nazim is. So, since that fight, I think he's like 2-0 or some bullshit. So, yeah, very impressive performance there. And then in his last fight, he got his first official UFC win, beating Genardo Valdez pretty easily, as he should, Genardo Valdez. And now a year later, almost 2 days off from being a year, he's back to try and get another win. He's not had any fights scheduled, so he's just been off for a year. Not sure injuries or why that is, but good to finally have him back. Again, he finally seems to be coming into his own as a fighter, coming off 2 really good performances versus Nazim and Genardo. So, and he's getting a big step down here against a welterweight. No, these guys are yeah. Evan Elder's a lightweight, and Darrius is a welterweight. Yeah, so Evan's actually stepping up for this fight. So, yeah, only 27 years old, 8-2, still very young to his career. Getting a big fight here, will be another nice win to add to the resume. Definitely, I would say, opponent-wise, the easiest fight of his career so far. I think Valdez is better than Flowers. I think Preston Parsons is better than Flowers, and we know Nazim Salikhov is better than Flowers. So, yeah, again, respect to Elder for stepping in like this, and it should pay off for him. Should get him a nice win here after a year-long break. And yeah, he also trains at a good camp, Killcliff, definitely a very popular gym. Has a lot of fighters, so he's not training with scrubs. And someone he trains with, a guy who just beat Darius Flowers. Very interesting. So yeah, let's see what Evan Elder can do after a year off. To talk about his opponent, Darrius Flowers. Darrius in the UFC is 0-2. Really shouldn't have got a contract on Contender Series, because in his Contender Series fight, Gogo Ladze did get injured. He pulled his shoulder out. I don't know how that's a win. I don't know how he got a contract from that, but whatever. Dana saw something no one did, and no one has seen, because ever since getting that contract, he made his UFC debut against Jake Matthews. Looked terrible. Pretend he got nut-shotted or some bullshit. Went full actor mode. Got beat. Then against Michael Johnson, he got beat. And now he's fighting for his job here against Evan Elder. Flowers is not a good fighter. He's not a very good fighter. His striking is okay, but he has shitty ground game, shitty cardio. Been submitted 5 times. Jesus. 29 years old. So he's not old, but he's not good. That's the thing of him. He's not very good. Again, he shouldn't have got a contract anyway, because that Contender Series fight's complete fucking... How that on no contest? So, I guess, if you want to say it was from a slam, I guess... I think that's weak. I think that's a really weak way to get a contract, and so far it's been proven right. Because and I'll give him this. Yes, he has fought some really good fighters. Jake Matthews and Michael Johnson's an insane first 2 fights of your UFC career. 2 very good veterans. Are those terrible losses? No, it's more terrible because how he lost them. Against Jake Matthews, everything that led up to that finish, and then getting finished, and then Michael Johnson, 2024, coming off a brutal KO, making Michael Johnson look amazing. I just don't think he's good. I don't think he's a UFC level fighter, and I think that's probably going to get proven again here. This is a giant step down for Darrius, and I just don't think it's a big enough step down for him to win. I don't think he's a talented fighter. I don't think he has the talent to be a UFC fighter, and especially fighting in altitude, he's going to be even worse than usual. I just really don't see much good for him here. Unless he gets a lucky knockout in the first couple minutes, which I doubt. I just don't think this is going to go good for him. I don't think he's a UFC caliber fighter. And again, I'm not sure what Dana saw in the Contender Series because no one else has seen it. So we'll see if Darrius can come out here and show something actually worse being a UFC fighter. But unless it's a win, this is going to be the last time we see Darrius Flowers in the UFC, most likely. So I don't know. Prove me wrong, Darrius. Prove me wrong, because so far you've proven me, and a lot of people, well, I don't know if anyone else is agreeing that he shouldn't have got a contract, but I think the point of he's not a UFC level fighter has been proven right twice now, and will it be thrice Saturday night? Probably. The betting odds for this fight have Evan Elder minus 425 to plus 330, the biggest favorite on the card. I get it. I'd probably move Elder down a little bit to probably minus 350, I think sounds about right. I get why he's a giant favorite, but you gotta remember he is taking his fight on super short notice, the same amount of notice as Darrius, up a weight class, so that's actually an advantage for Darrius since this is his weight class. But I do get it. Evan is just a better fighter. He's bigger by an inch, got the same reach advantage, he's younger by 2 years, he's coming off a win. He's a better fighter, it's simple as that. And if this fight was booked if this fight was either booked not in Denver or booked even if it was booked in like the Apex or somewhere with normal altitude, it would be a closer fight. Well, since this is altitude, short notice, it should be a weird fight. I don't know if we're going to get a finish here. Like I said, if this was not Denver, I probably would lean an Evan Elder finish since this is a very short notice fight for Flowers, and it is he does have a shitty gas tank, but Evan's dealing with the same thing, so of course I'm going Evan Elder. Not very much to say. Again, better fighter. I think he's better on the feet, I think he's better on the ground, and I think he's going to probably show that Saturday. So give me Evan Elder by a part of me is leaning a finish, but in really no camp, this fight just getting booked, I'm gonna go decision. I just think that I think you gotta factor in all the things playing into this fight. This fight was booked during the week, so they've had no time to prepare. This fight is in high altitude, so yes, Darrius is the one with shitty gas tank, but Evan's gonna feel that altitude also. And Evan's not a crazy finisher either. He has 4 KOs, 1 submission, 3 decisions. He's not an insane finisher either, especially in the ground game where that is Flowers' weakness, and he's not even that good there. So I'm gonna go Evan Elder by decision. I won't be shocked if we get a finish, but I'm not gonna put a lot of money into that. So I'm gonna go Evan Elder by decision. Should not be a hard fight for him, especially out of round 1. After round 1, it's either going to be 29-28 or 30-27. So, give me Evan Elder by decision. If a finish happens, will I be shocked? No. Will I be upset and pick a finish? Yes. But, what can you do, man? What can you do? Give me Evan Elder by decision. Yeah, let's see what happens between this short notice, this fight booked on very short notice. After that, we head to our second fight of the night in the middleweight division. A very terrible fight. Complete terrible fight. Can versus Can. I would probably say the worst fight on the card. Well, yeah, I think the Elder fight's better. So yeah, this is the worst fight on the card in my opinion. As we head to middleweight for a fucking joke of a fight between Josh Fremd versus Andre Petroski. Can versus Can, man. Can versus Can. This should be happening at the local LFA event, not in the UFC. But, whatever. This is happening in the UFC for whatever fucking reason, so let's see what happens. Let's start with Josh Fremd. Fremd in UFC is 2-3. His 2 wins are Cedricus Dumas and Jamie Pickett. and his 3 losses are Fluffy Hernandez, Tresean Gore, and Roman Kopylov. He's not a great fighter. He showed spurts of being a very good fighter. Like, that debut against Fluffy is so interesting to watch, especially after knowing how his UFC career goes, because he actually gave Fluffy a good fight. Did a lot better against Fluffy than a lot of guys did. A lot better than the guy who just beat him, Kopylov. So, he gave Fluffy a really weird, good fight, but then he loses to Tresean Gore? How do you lose to Tresean Gore? And then he beats 2 cans, as you should, Cedricus Dumas and Jamie Pickett, 2 guys you definitely should be beating. And then he got completely mauled by Roman Kopylov, which is very understandable. It's Roman Kopylov. Yeah, I don't know. Fremd has shown spurts of talent, but for all those spurts of talent, you see him lose to Tresean Gore. So, I don't know. This is a very winnable fight for him. In Denver, I think this being in Denver is a giant advantage for him. Because if this was... I'll talk about this more in a second, but it being in Denver is a giant advantage for him for a couple of reasons. So, he's been off for a little bit of time, almost a year. Let's see what he can do in a very winnable fight. If not, you can even call it a fight he should win. So... he's a better fighter in this fight, no doubt. This fight really relies on a couple factors. But yeah, Fremd's not a terrible fighter. He just, again, it's just weird because he's one of those guys who has shown the ability to be very good. He just can't show it consistently. Especially since his debut, he's not really shown it. So, we'll see what he can do here. Big step down competition from Roman Kopylov. See what he can do. Fremd, a very capable fighter who really needs to show we need to see the Fremd we saw against Fluffy Hernandez. If we see that guy, oh, this is an easy night for Josh Fremd. To talk about his opponent, Andre Petroski. Petroski in the UFC is 5-2, a record that looks a lot better until you look into it. He did come from Tough, where he did lose on Tough, but they still gave him a contract, and I guess, in a way, it was the right move, because he did go on a 5-fight winning streak, beating Michael Gilmore, Hu Yazong, Nick Maximov, Wellington Turman, and GM3, and then he ran into Michel Pereira, who fucking annihilated him, and Jacob Malkoun, who completely embarrassed him. So, that 5-fight winning streak, like, in the moment, it was like, okay, Petroski's pretty good. Fuck, I was saying that. Trust me, go back to my 282 breakdown. Oh, not, is that 282? 292, my bad. Go back to that fucking breakdown and recap, and I'm fucking hyping up Petroski. And even that was not even a great performance against GM3. Actually, that was a terrible fucking performance. But he did get to win. Fucking his best win was definitely that fraud checking Nick Maximov, who was really hyped up going into that fight. That was impressive. Before we knew Nick Maximov was a complete joke, and then these three are fucking cans. So, but again, and I get, if you want to give him a pass for the Michel Pereira fight, okay, I get it. Michel Pereira is fucking insane. He's an amazing fighter. The Jacob Malkoun fight is so fucking embarrassing that he should have been cut on the spot. He headbutted Malkoun's fucking leg or whatever and knocked himself out. It's like, dude, are you fucking stupid? What the fuck are you doing? Like, fucking stupid. Like, you got, like, if you don't watch the fight, it looks like you got knocked out by Jacob fucking Malkoun. Which is like, what? So, Petroski's just not a good fighter. He's a good wrestler. Don't get me wrong, he's a good wrestler. He can't do shit else. He can't strike. He has no gas tank. Like, he has no chin. He has no striking. But actually, he might have a little bit of power in his hands. Well, we never get to see it because he can't fucking strike. He's not good. He's just not a good fighter. He's 33 years old on a 2-fight losing streak, just getting finished twice in a row. Not even that long ago. He's not good. He's really not good. Simple as that. Can't really put it much other ways than that. Dude's been royally fraud checked and probably about to be fucking cut if he loses this fight. So, he's just not good. Simple as that. The betting odds for this fight, I think, are not. I don't think those are the right odds. I think they are a pick'em at this point in time, which I would agree with. I would have this a pick'em 110, 115 a piece, whatever you want to fucking put it. I could see either guy winning. If Fremd keeps on the feet, of course he's gonna win. Especially if Fremd can last into round 2 and 3, he should win. If not, get a finish. Petroski, if he can get to the ground, he can win. If he can just lay on him for 3 rounds, he could win. But then the factor of this is in Denver, which throws a whole new spin on this fight because this guy has no gas tank, and this guy actually has a halfway decent one. So I think that puts a whole new spin on things. In my opinion, Petroski's going to either need to get a finish in the first round or hope Fremd gasses like crazy in round 1 and he can hold him down the rest of the fight, which I don't think is going to happen. Most likely what I think is going to happen is Petroski's going to probably do fine in round 1, maybe even win the round. Excuse me. And then he'll gas. He'll probably gas 2 minutes into the second, and Fremd will start taking over, stuffing takedowns, keeping it on the feet. Good chance he probably gets finished. If not, I think Fremd will win a 29-28, maybe 29-27. I just really, I don't know if you can really trust Petroski. He has no striking. He has no fucking cardio. Like, I know Josh Fremd ain't good, but Fremd's a better fighter. Like, breaking down this fight, who's the better striker? Fremd. Who has better cardio? Fremd. Who has a better ground game? Petroski. But you go back to the cardio question, like, who's just a better fighter? Fremd. So I'm going Josh Fremd here. I think he's gonna get a win, and I think the bigger question is, does he get a finish? He has 4 KOs, 4 submissions, and 3 decisions. Damn, 4 second round submissions. That's very intriguing, to be honest. I think he's gonna probably finish Petroski, man. Petroski's just fucking soft. Been KO'd 3 times. Jesus fuck. I'm gonna go with Josh Fremd by, I'm feeling a knockout in the second. Has he ever got a finish in the third? I doubt it. No. 1 TKO in the second. I think Fremd's gonna get his first UFC KO here. Give me Josh Fremd by knockout in the second. I think I could see him getting a submission, but I think if he's smart, he doesn't even play that game with Petroski. So give me Fremd by knockout in the second. Petroski has no chin, no cardio. I think he's probably gonna get finished. So yeah, give me Fremd by knockout in the second. I think this 36% agreeing with me, and I don't think this 8%'s that bad. So give me Fremd by knockout in the second. The better fighter with a better gas tank should win. Speaking of fighters with good gas tanks and bad gas tanks, let's head to our third fight of the night in the women's flyweight division. A very interesting fight, and a lot to say here. As in our third fight of the night in the flyweight division, we have Luana Santos versus, I can't believe I'm actually saying her name after how long it's been, versus Mariya Demon Slayer Agapova. Yeah, she's back. It's been, what, 2 years? She's finally back. Oh boy. Let's see what happens here. I can take a guess. I can take a fucking wild guess, and I guarantee you I'm gonna be right. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, let's start this fight with talking about Luana Santos. Luana in the UFC is 2-0. In her UFC debut, she came in and ran through Juliana Miller in about 4 minutes. Not saying much, it's Juliana Miller. And then in her last fight, up at, was that bantamweight? Yeah, it was bantamweight. So that's actually interesting that I think she's stepping out short nose for that fight though, so I get it. But up a weight class against Stephanie Egger, she got the win there also, which is not a bad win. Edgar is not a world beater, but with how Luana did beat Edgar, it was not that bad. So was she the favorite? Yes. So yeah, 2-0, and now she's heading back down to her weight class of flyweight, I believe. Yes. She's not a bad fighter. She's a subpar prospect. I don't think she's terrible. Very young, 24 years old, only in her 9th fight. So, but she's not bad. Her striking's decent. Her ground game's she held Stephanie Egger down for like 7 minutes. So that's pretty impressive. Her cardio seems to be decent. Going back down to flyweight in Denver, it's going to be interesting to see how the cardio holds up. She definitely has the better cardio in this fight, easily. But yeah, Luana, very intriguing prospect. I think she was better off at bantamweight because flyweight's kind of a murderer's row. But fuck, she wants to go back down to flyweight. Why not? They're gifting her an easy win here, so why not take it? But yeah, not a bad fighter. Again, she's only gonna get better. 24 years old, gonna get another win here. Just gonna keep getting better. Just gonna really keep getting better as a fighter. And she's already seems to be, like I said, she's a very well-rounded fighter. So, see what else she can do in the UFC. To talk about her opponent, Mariya Agapova. She's finally back after bitching about not fighting, but you can't blame you can only blame the UFC for so much. You can't blame them for you sitting on your ass for 2 years. Sorry, not sorry. Agapova in the UFC is 2-3. Her 2 wins are Hannah Cifers and Sabina Mazo, and her 3 losses are Shanna Dobson, Maria Morozov, and Julian Robertson. Agapova is such a weird case. I think if you remember those fucking Apex cards during COVID and all that, you remember her getting that Cifers when she was fucking hyped up as shit. Then she gets smoked by Shanna fucking Dobson as a minus, what, 16,000? 1,400, holy shit. As one of the biggest favorites to ever lose. I think at that time I think she might still be the biggest favorite to ever fucking lose. And that's when everything started going downhill. Yeah, she dominated Sabina Mazo. It's Sabina Mazo. Then her last 2 fights have really just shown her issues. She got embarrassed by Maria Morozov, and she almost bit her fucking tongue off versus Julian Robertson. That's the last we've seen of her for 2 years. Now she's back. Okay. A lot personal shit out the way. Even though I think that plays a big factor here. Just to talk about the fighter. The big question in this fight is, has she improved? She's had about 2 years, the 2 month off of 2 years, to improve. What are her strengths? She's a great kickboxer. If the UFC was just kickboxing, she'd be one of the best in the fucking women's division. The bad thing, she has shitty cardio. She has 0 grappling game. Yes, she has 2 submission wins. Anyone can get a fucking submission when you hurt your opponent. Plus Hannah Cifers and Sabina Mazo. And then to factor in the personal shit, because let's be honest, this is not UFC 5, the fucking video game. These are people. Apparently, she has no one even knows where the fuck she's training anymore. She's broke, and she's blaming the UFC for not fighting for 2 years. Which, how did that make any sense? I don't know. Like, I do see that she did get back into competition 2 months ago in Karate Combat. That was smart. She did get submitted in 31 seconds. We're not shocked. So at least she did knock a little rust off, and now she's in an MMA fight. So the fight comes down to, has she improved? Has she improved in 2 years? Can she stop her takedown? Can she fight for fucking 2 minutes without gassing? Has she improved? Does she even have anywhere to fucking train? These are a lot of questions. To be honest, my answer, probably not. Do I think she's improved as a fighter? Probably not. Do I think she's gonna be better than she was? No. And that's the annoying thing with Agapova. She's not just a shit fighter. Like, she's not. Let's bring back Sabina Mazo and Hannah Cifers. She's not just a shit fighter. Like Shanna Dobson, even, who's just a garbage fighter. Agapova's a fighter with a lot of talent. It's actually a shame that her career has went the way it has, because she does have talent. Again, her striking is one of the best in the division. Like, one of the best female kickboxers in the UFC. She's really fucking talented. It's just when you bring in the grappling aspect, the gas tank aspect, personal shit, everything kind of falls off a cliff. So her only way of winning this fight is praying she can get a fucking knockout or a submission early. If this fight goes into round 2, if it makes it that far, is she gonna be tired? Is she gonna be fucking getting taken down? Like, 2-year layoff, how much rust are you gonna need to knock off? I just don't think anything's playing out for her here, which I'm an Agapova fan. I've never picked against her, I'm pretty sure. If I have, I don't remember. Yeah, I've never picked against her. I'm a Agapova fan, been a while, but I think that fucking crying message blaming the UFC for you sitting on your ass for 2 years is fucking stupid. And that just shows you're not mentally in this fight. This fight's been booked for months. This fight was booked when she posted that. So it's like, what the fuck? Maybe don't sit on your ass for 2 years and don't fight. A crazy fucking idea. So, let's see what happens. Can she get back in the win column and fucking surprise everyone? Probably not. I would be shocked. Because a lot of things... She better... I think hell, you want me to be honest? The main way Mariya Agapova wins this fight is if Luana Santos fights like a fucking moron. If Luana Santos makes this a striking match, a kickboxing match, she has a good possibility of losing. But if Luana Santos has any fight IQ in the slightest, she takes Agapova down and submits her. It's the most logical thing for her to do. She'd be beyond stupid to not try that. You're gonna get the takedown with this Agapova. And even if you don't the first one or the second one, you're gonna tire her out and eventually get her down. So, I think it's kind of a fucked up matchup to give Agapova, because you should have gave her a kickboxer or a striker. Like, I guess Luana Santos is kind of one, but she has 4 submission wins. So, she just beat Stephanie Egger and held her down for 7 minutes of control time. What the fuck's gonna happen here? So, sorry Agapova, but I just don't see you winning this fight. So, yeah. The betting odds have Luana Santos minus 275 to plus 225. You can move Santos up to 300, if not higher, if you want. She's my lock of the night. I know I'm banking on her having fight IQ, and I don't think she's gonna be stupid. I think, if I don't know if fighters do tape study, they fucking should. Because if she's done any tape study in the world, just of Agapova's last 2 fights, just take her down. It's not hard. Mariya Morozov fucking did it. And Morozov was a joke. So, come on. Give me Luana Santos by submission in the first. I think she's going to run through Agapova like she did Juliana Miller. If Luana Santos has any fight IQ at all, this is an easy night for her. So, give me Luana Santos by submission in the first. My lock of the night. Don't fucking strike with her. You're not the striker she is. Take her down. Simple as that. Luana Santos by submission in the first. After that, we head to our 4th fight of the night. One of the bangers that the UFC booked on very short notice. As we had to bantamweight for a very, very good fight. I'm actually shocked they got this level of a fight booked. As we have Montel Quick Jackson versus the Monster Blackshear. Very good fight in the bantamweight division, as always, because bantamweight division's the bantamweight division, probably the best weight class in the UFC, especially when it, bare minimum at least when it comes to unranked wise. Like, these two are unranked. These two could easily be ranked fighters. They're that good. So, FC wins this pretty good, I would say almost a pretty big fight in the division here. So, let's start with Montel Jackson, who was meant to fight 3 weeks ago. So, good to see he actually finally got a fight. Damn, he's had that many fights. Montel Jackson in the UFC is 7-2. His 7 wins are Brian Kelleher, Andre Soccermom, Felipe Colares, Jesse Strader, JP Buys, Julio Arce, and Ronnie Yaya. His 2 losses are Ricky Simone and Brett Johns, and he did come off the Contender Series. Montel's a very good fighter. Very good fighter. It's kind of a shame that he has been getting these fucking layup matches, because he's really not got to show how good he actually is. Because, like, if you look at his last 4 wins, Jesse Strader, joke, JP Buys, god awful, Julio Arce, who's actually pretty good, and Ronnie Yaya, who's old. So he's really not got to fight anyone good since Brett Johns, and that was in 2020 when he lost. So, like, and if you look at the fights that's been canceled, Donna Bagarel would have been a nice win. Chris Gutierrez would have been a nice fight. Said Nurmagomedov would have been a nice fight. Farid Basharat would have been a nice fight. I don't know if he wins those last two, but at least he would have had a fucking interesting fight. So, and these two were meant to happen a couple weeks ago on the Whitaker card. So it's actually good. So he's actually not stepping on super short notice to fight on this card because he was already in training camp 3 weeks ago. So yeah, Montel's good though. Montel is very good, and he's looked pretty close to like, especially against Ronnie, he's looking pretty good to flawless. Like, coming off a first round KO. He's a good fighter. I don't like him being off for over a year, but he's never been an active fighter anyway. He's a super inactive fighter, which is definitely not a good thing. But he is 32 years old, which is also not a great thing, but the dude doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on him, so that shouldn't be a ginormous problem. He's a good fighter. He's really good at using his reach. He has good power in his hands when he actually throws them. But what I just said there is a big problem with him. He doesn't throw enough. He's very passive-aggressive, which is definitely something we've seen him in the past. He knocked down JP Buys 8 times, but he never finished him. He's been super passive-aggressive in the past, which has definitely been a big problem with his game. But in a fight like this against an actual good fighter, he maybe being a little passive and fighting smarter would be smart. But you actually need to fight. You can't just you gotta... I'm not sure how to describe this, but he can't be so passive this fight. He actually has to show up and fight. I'm not saying super aggressive, especially with the altitude, easier to gas. But I think if he shows up and fights a little more aggressive, not going out there fighting like goddamn Michael Chandler, but fighting a little more wanting to show something. Because this is his first real fight in like 4 years. Since Brett Johns, as I said. So, and this could be a ginormous win for him. A win here, you could easily give him a ranked fight. They were trying to, giving him guys like Saeed Nurmagomedov and fucking Chris Gutierrez. So, Damon Blackshear, very good fighter, and this could be a really big win for Montel. And hopefully, if he does win this fight, and doesn't take a lot of damage, hopefully he can actually fucking fight again quickly instead of taking a year off. Because he's already 32 years old, he can't take much more time off till he starts getting old and old and old. You gotta start showing up to fight more and more and more. So, let's see what Montel does in his first fight in a year. Over a year. Speaking of guys who have been off for a long time, Damon Blackshear is finally back. Damon in UFC is 2-2-1. His 2 wins are Luana and Jose Johnson. His 2 losses are Farid Basharat and Mario Bautista, and he has a draw with Yusuk Zalost. Blackshear's a really good fighter. Damon Blackshear is a very talented fighter. Dude has shown a lot of fucking good moments. That Jose Johnson Twister was really good. That Mario Bautista fight, a lot of people think he won that fight. But then you've had bad performances like the Farid Basharat fight where he got kind of dominated, or the Yusuf Zalal fight where he clearly won the first 2 rounds, but he got 10-8'd in the 3rd. So, and you should not be getting 10-8'd by Yusuf fucking Zalal. Come on, do better. So, yeah, Damon's a good fighter. His biggest weakness has been his gas tank, as I just said, after the Zalal fight and the Mario Bautista fight, where he did gas and get beat up in the 3rd. He has had gas tank issues. Besides that, he's a good fighter. His striking's decent. His ground game is really fucking good. His ground game is definitely the best part of his it's the best part of his game, and I think we're definitely going to see that in this fight if he does go in there with a heavy wrestling game plan, which would be very smart. He has been off for almost a year. He hasn't fought since 292, which I don't love that, but at least for him, he's fighting another guy who's been off for just, if not actually longer time than that. So, being off, for him, he got luckier that he's fighting a guy who's been as inactive as he is. So, we'll see what he can do here. This would be a ginormous win for him to get back on track, but also a loss here wouldn't be that bad because it's Montel Jackson. So it's a good fight. It's a good fight. Damon can really prove something here, though. Like, this would be a big win, a really big win. And he's fought these tall, lengthy guys before. Who the fuck did he twister, for fuck's sake? So I'm interested. I'm very intrigued in this fight. I think it's gonna be a really good fight, and it's a really big fight in bantamweight division. So let's see which one of these very talented unranked guys can get a really big win. The betting odds for this fight have Montel Jackson minus 150 to plus 125. I agree with Montel being the favorite, but I wouldn't have it minus 150. I'd probably move down to minus 120, 130. I think this fight's a little closer than people are acting. I think it's a very good fight, and I could see it going either way. Almost. I think on the feet, if it stays on the feet, Montel will win. He's the better striker. He has a much longer reach, and he's just a better striker. On the ground, Damon could steal a round or two. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Damon won this fight by taking round 1 and 2, or at least barely taking round 2, because he's gonna gas. In Denver, like, Montel has the cardio advantage. I can't really ever remember seeing Montel gas. If he has, I don't remember it. And then you gotta factor in that they're both been off for a year. Almost a year for Damon, over a year for Montel. So you gotta factor that in, so it's a very intriguing fight. It's a very good fight on short notice. To get these two booked on this card was genius. And who do I think's gonna win? Give me Montel Jackson. I think the guy with the better gas tank is definitely a big advantage in Denver. The guy with the better striking. Like I said, if Damon steals round 1, I won't be shocked. If Damon steals round 2, I wouldn't be shocked. But then, especially, he has to be worried of that striking round 3. We've seen him get fucking 10-8'd before in round 3, and that was not even in a high altitude place. That was just, I think that was like that's just like a normal fucking card. I don't remember what card that was, but this is Denver, and he's had gas tank issues other places, so that's going to really be an interesting factor. So give me Montel Jackson by decision. I don't think we'll get a finish here. If we did, it'd be a Montel Jackson knockout, but we'll see. I'm very intrigued in this fight, so give me Montel Jackson by decision. Keep it on the feet and win. Definitely is be the best for Montel, but also letting Damon gas himself out, it's not a bad idea either. So give me the better cardioed fighter and give me Montel Jackson by decision. After that, we head back to women's flyweight for another fight that was changed on short notice, and very intriguing one, especially with all the hype this fight's getting for one fighter. As in our co-main of the prelims, we have in the women's flyweight division, Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Fatima, the Archangel Kline. I don't know. This fight was originally meant to be Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Viviane Araujo, but Araujo pulled out and Fatima stepped in. I'm saying her name wrong. Sorry, not sorry. So, yeah, very intriguing fight here. A lot of hype on the debuting side. So, we'll see what happens here. So, let's start with talking about the fighter that was already meant to be on this card, Jasmine Jasudavicius. Jasmine in the UFC is 4-2 coming out of Contender Series, and her 4 wins in the UFC are Kay Hansen, Gabriel Fernandez, Miranda Maverick, and Priscilla Crachueta, and her 2 losses are Natalia Silva and Tracy Cortez. Wow, bad losses, eh? Jasmine's a very good fighter. I know she gets a lot of shit for whatever reason. I get her wins are shitty. Kay Hansen's garbage. Gabriela Fernandez is garbage. Miranda Maverick's actually good. And Cachoeira's garbage. But that Cachoeira fight was almost a fucking illegal. 300 strikes or some shit. Lord. But Jasmine's a lot better than people like to act. I don't know why people act like she's fucking garbage. She's not bad. Like, I do get the red flags. Her striking is not great. She is 35 years old. She did get into UFC very late. But she has a 10-3. She's not had a lot of wear and tear, not a lot of damage on her. So she's getting 35 years old, and she is going to feel those effects, but because she's old, not because of fight damage, which I think is a lot, I guess a little bit better, it could be a lot worse. So, and we know what we're getting with Jasmine Jasudavicius. She's trying to take you down and beat you. And she's not trying to take you down and lay on you. She's trying to fucking put you through the canvas. And in her last fight, she did that very well. Yes, against a joke fighter like Silva, but still a win nonetheless. And even her in her 2 losses, Natalia Silva's Natalia fucking Silva. What do you want her to do? Against Trace Cortez, she put up a good fight. That's a lot closer than people want to act. So, yeah, I don't get why Jasmine gets so much shit. She's not bad. So, she's not boring either. Again, she tries to get the finish. If she's gonna win a fight, the other fighter is going to be beat up. So, I don't know. I think people are just weird. But yeah, and let's also put this into play. She's the 15th ranked flyweight right now. She's a ranked fighter, so she's defending her ranking. She's fighting a debuting fighter, and she's actually not a bad fighter. A lot on her plate here, man. She went from trying to fight up the rankings to now defending her ranking. A lot of things changed quickly. So, but Jasmine, a very good fighter with really good casting, so the Denver does not really play a factor. See what she can do here, man. See what she can do here as she fights the very hyped up, maybe too hyped up, Fatima Kline. I'm saying her name wrong. I know it. When I hear it during the broadcast, I'll say it right. But, yeah, to talk about Kline in her UFC debut, obviously, she was actually meant to fight on Contender Series next in 2 months, but our Ujo pulled out, and here comes Fatima. So yeah, she's getting a lot of hype on her. Again, she is somehow the fucking favorite on the betting odds. Well, actually, I think they might be a pick'em now. She's not bad. She's not bad from what I've heard. Like, I don't think she's a pushover, but she is 24 years old. Stepping in on short notice to fight a ranked veteran. I'm really intrigued to see how good she actually is. Like, we might not even see that. Like, to be honest, we might not even see how good she is, because Jasmine Jasudavicius is very good. Kline could be one of those fighters we really don't see how good she is until her second fight, when she has a full camp, and she's going back down to, I think, strawweight after this. So she's not even fighting at her weight class at the moment, so I don't know. I think she's a training partner of Blackshear, I saw. So, and she has a lot of fucking grappling matches, so we know what her game plan is. She's interesting. I'm intrigued. I wish she wasn't fighting a fighter I'm a fan of, so I actually could be a little more less biased. But you stepped in to fight the Canadian badass. See, you better fucking show up, because you're not gonna get an easy win here. But you never know. She could have a fucking Emily Ducote story and fucking step in on short notice and win, and she's now ranked. Exact same thing that happened with Emily Ducote. She stepped on a short notice, beat Jessica Panay, and now was a top 15 ranked fighter. Can we see the same story played out here? Fucking see, man. A lot of hype on Kline. Let's see if she can fucking show up. The betting odds definitely think she will at -130. I think it's more of a pick'em now. But yeah, I think you gotta fucking wait. You don't even know how good she is yet. Like, she's stepping in on short notice in Denver, so altitude, against a veteran, a ranked veteran who's riding high after the best performance of her career. Let's fucking wait and see what happens. I think y'all are jumping the gun a little too much. There you go. Good job, Tapology. I would have Jasmine -130. We don't even know how good Kline is yet. You gotta wait and see. You can't just fucking throw her in there and give her a fucking slight favorite odds. That's fucking stupid. Wait and see how good she is before you start fucking making her the favorite against a ranked fighter. And I get I made the Ducote Panay thing. Jasmine Jasudavicius is way better than Jessica fucking Panay. So it's kind of like the Emily Ducote thing, but against a way better fighter. So I don't know. Let's see what Kline can do. A win here, ginormous. But she's fighting a veteran who's ranked, who has great cardio and is going to try and take her down. Who's much bigger. Well, not really. Let's see what you can do, Kline. Show up, show out, and prove something. You're 24 years old, which could be a blessing and a curse. Too young. We've seen that happen many times before in the past with fighters. What can you do? Come in here and prove something. If you can knock off Jasudavicius and beat a ranked fighter, great job. You gotta do it first. So, my pick, of course I'm biased. Jasmine is probably my second favorite female fighter. So, give me Jasudavicius by decision. Yeah. I think, let's see what Kline can do. Prove something. Simple as that. You have a big test here. Let's see how you pass it or fail it. Give me Jasudavicius by decision. And now for our featured prelim, a banger in the flyweight division that joins Montel Jackson and Damon Blackshear for fights that were booked really late, and actually this was booked on the same day. As we had to flyweight, with that flyweight, not catchweight, not flyweight, as we had to flyweight for a banger, and I mean banger, between Joshua the Fearless Van versus Charles Energy Johnson. How is this not on the main card? Goddamn. What a fight. This is going to be insane. This could easily take 5 of the night. This and one more fight definitely has the opportunity to steal 5 of the night. Let's see if it does, man. Let's see if it does. This is gonna be fun. And let's talk about Joshua Van first. Van in the UFC is 3-0. This kid's fucking insane. This kid is good. And his 3 wins in the UFC are Zulgas Zumagulov, Kevin Borjas, and Felipe Bunes. He destroyed Zumagulov on short notice. He wrecked Kevin Borjas, and he annihilated Felipe Bunes. Joshua Van's a problem. And he's only 24 years old. And this goes back to the Kline fight. 22 years old. Like, you could be young and still just be a prodigy. But you got fighters who are young and not ready yet. Van is ready. This guy is so good. He should be ranked. I don't know how the fuck he's not a ranked fighter. Like, he was gonna beat Gabriel and Bekov, I think. He's so fucking good. And he's getting better somehow. That's what's scary. He's already looking like a top 15, top 10 dude. And he's getting better? He might hold a belt sooner than we think. He is that good. Like, it's scary how good Joshua Van is. Like, dude, when they booked him in Tatsuo Taira, you could really have a case for Josh Van winning. There's a real debate on who's gonna win that fight. And then Gabriel and Bekov, who's really good, I thought he was gonna beat him. So, Van's a problem. He's a slow start. He reminds me of Prime Piotr Jan. He's a slow starter, but when he turns on, he's a fucking animal. He's a fucking animal. When he turns on in round 2 and 3, get ready to get your ass beat. He's going to fucking body punch, head, kick. That he does not tire out. I don't think the altitude is going to affect him too much. This kid's good. And he's a real problem in the division. He's a legit fucking problem. We might see him in a title fight or a main event sooner than we think. So, I can't wait. 22 years old. He's good. Kid is fucking good. And so is his opponent. I'm not trying to overshadow Charles Johnson, but yeah. But of course, I'll talk about Charles Johnson, who is also very good. He is 4-4 in UFC. Really should be 3-5, but he has been pretty good. His wins in UFC are Jimmy Flick, Azat Maxim, and Jake Hadley, and his losses are Muhammad Mukayev, Zulgas Zumagulov, Ode Osborne, Cody Durden, and Rafael Esteban. Charles Johnson's really coming into his own as a fighter. Like, his first couple fights in the UFC were weird. He looked really good against Muhammad Mukayev, looked god-awful here, looked mid here, probably could have gave him this fight, looked awful here, but then for some reason against Azat Maxim, he just came in and whooped his ass, and a fraud checked Azat. Then he goes in there against Jake Hadley in St. Louis and destroys him. and now he's riding high on a 2-fight winning streak, fighting Joshua Van on super short notice. Do I think Charles Johnson has a chance? Not really. I don't think he really... Charles Johnson's a good fighter. He's a very good fighter, don't get me wrong. Joshua Van's better. Like, Joshua Van is better. And I get Charles Johnson has been looking good against these young guys. Against that, he fraud checked him. Against Mukayev, he looked good. Jake Hadley, the young dude he beat. Fucking, Rafael Estevan, he looked decent against, to be honest. Like, Estevan kind of sucks. Charles Johnson's good. And I'm happy. He's a cool dude. He's really coming into his own now as a fighter. I just don't think this is a fight for him. I'm happy he's getting a giant fight like this. I would rather see him fighting someone ranked. But it sucks he's probably going to lose this fight. But man, it's Joshua Van. You can't be upset. Like, Van's just that guy. It's simple as that. Joshua Van is just that guy. He's him. And he's going to show that again Saturday night, man. Kid is good. The main odds first fight have Joshua Van minus 190 to plus 160. I like those odds. If y'all move Van to minus 195, I think 200 is a bit of a reach, because Charles Johnson kind of fights the same as Van to an extent, that he does take round 1 off and then he wakes up in the second and third. But I don't think that's going to work this fight, because Van is just... I don't want to say special, because I think that's... Because, again, I'm comparing him to Piotr Jan, so that's not... He's not one of one. Kid's a prodigy, 22 years old, borderline one of the best fighters in the division probably. Like, if you put him in there with most of the ranked guys, I think he beats them. Perez, Moreno, Kaikar France, Pantoja, he beats them. But until we don't get to see that at the moment, right now we gotta see him beat Charles Johnson, which again, I hate seeing Charles Johnson lose because I like energy, he's a nice dude. But yeah, it's Van's time, and we're going to see another Josh Van masterclass after we get a 30, well, probably not a 30-27, but at least we're going to get a Joshua Van decision win here. It's going to be good. It's going to be a really fun fight. Again, could easily steal 5 of the night. If it did, don't be shocked. That this should be a banger. I'm excited, and my pick is going to be Josh Van by decision. Should be a great fight. I'm very excited. The Van is that guy. Those are the prelims, an hour in pretty much. Decent prelims. Elder's a fine prelim filler. Fremd's a fight. Agapova could be intriguing. And then the last 3 fights are good. To be honest, outside the Fremd fight, pretty good prelims. So, not bad. Pretty decent prelims. And now we head into a really fun, well, a decent main card. A very decent main card. So definitely, I think some of the prelims fights I definitely would swap Josh Van and Montel Jackson with Brundage and fucking Bonfim, and swap C-Rod with Jasudavicius, but whatever. Decent main card, and you never know what could happen, so let's get into it as we begin the main card in the middleweight division with a fight that, well, really only goes one of 2 ways, so that's going to be interesting to see which way it goes. As in our main card opener, we have Cody Brundage versus Judo Thunder Abdul Razak Alhassan. Not a great fight to open the main card. I get what the UFC is trying to do. They wanted Abdul Razak knockout, but you're really fucking wishing on a dimly lit star there. So we'll see if they get what they want. I'm not counting on it. So let's get right into it as we begin the main card with Mr. UFC 300 himself, Cody Brundage. Brundage in UFC is 4-5. How the fuck is he still here? His wins in UFC are Dolce Lungambula, Tresean Gore, Jacob Malkoun, Zach Reese. His losses are Nick Maximov, Michael Olashechek, Rodolfo Vieira, Cedricus Dumas, and Bo Nickel. He's not good. That's the funny thing, Brundage. He's not fucking good. The fact that he has 4 wins in the UFC is a fucking crime. Like, I get there against bottom of the barrel fighters. Lungambula's a joke. Tresean Gore is a joke. Jacob Malkoun's a joke. Well, actually, yeah, he didn't fucking beat Malkoun. He acted his way to a win, so fuck that. He had 3 wins in UFC. And then Zachary Reese is just stupid. And then his losses, Nick Maximov sucks. Michael Olashechek, okay. Rodolfo Vieira, okay. Dumas, what? And Bo Nickel, actually, that was the best fight of his career. Like, 'cause he actually showed, like, to talk about, because the Bo Nickel fight's the main thing of his career. He actually looked good in this fight. Like, he actually really embarrassed Bo Nickel to an extent, which is insane to say. Like, he lost, clearly, but in a way, he really did embarrass Bo Nickel here. Like, he fucking really made Bo Nickel look bad. Which, impressive. He's done the best against Bo Nickel than anyone else has. Which I know that's not saying much, because the rest of Bo's opponents have kind of just fell over and died. But still, Brundage really looked good against Bo and really impressed a lot of people. Me included. I was like, okay. Like, people were talking more about how, like, no one even cared Bo Nickel won. Bo Nickel actually looked pretty bad in this fight, so. Props to Brundage, man. Everyone made fun of him for being on the 300 main card, and he kind of shut people up. He lost, but fuck, that's the best fight of his career in a loss. So that trumps his 3 wins by a fucking landslide. So yeah, Brundage, terrible fighter. No striking ability. Decent ground game, as we saw against Bo Nickel. Cardio is decent, especially I think he trains in Colorado or some bullshit. Yeah, flying out Inglewood, Colorado, so obviously this is in Denver, Colorado. This is kind of a good matchup for him. Again, I know what the UFC is trying to do with this fight, especially on the main card, but it's probably gonna go sideways. It's good chances go sideways, so we'll see what happens. This could be a really nice win for Brundage, because his opponent is a very, very, very old and washed Abdul Razak Alhassan. Abdul in the UFC is 6-6. Goddamn, he's been in the UFC forever. His 6 wins, all by knockout, are Charlie Ward. He beat, I'm not gonna try that name. He beat that guy twice. Nico Price, Chirico, and Claudio Ribeiro. His losses are Omari Akhmedov, Lazez, Chaos Williams, Jacob Malkoun, Joe Quinn Buckley, and Joe Pyfer. I thought about this the other day, or actually not the other day, today. Abdulrazak Alhassan is Derek Lewis if he was in any other weight class. That's a perfect fucking comparison. ARA is Derek Lewis if he was in any other weight class, because all he has is good power. He has no ground game, no cardio, no skill, to be honest. He just has power for days. He has no fucking skill. He's not good. He never has been good. He hits hard. Literally, that's his only skill. He hits hard as fuck. That's his skill. That's why, if you look at all his losses, Omari Akhmedov, a wrestler, Lazez, a smart fighter, Chaos Williams just killed him. Jacob Malkoun wrestled. Joe Quinn Buckley wrestled. Joe Pyfer fought smart. Like, it's not hard to beat Abdulrazak Alhassan. You just gotta fight with any bit of fight IQ. It's not that fucking hard. If you use any fight IQ in the slightest against him, you're gonna win. Because he has no talent. Especially now, he's 38 years old. He's super old. He's been off for a year. Almost. He's not a good fighter. He never has been. So, yeah, can he still knock you out? That's the only thing he can fucking do. So, we'll see what happens here. We know if he doesn't get putting him on a card in Denver was so fucked up. UFC, you know what you're doing, man. You know exactly what you're doing with this. You're gonna get this man fucking beat. Like this, I don't want to see Abdul fight anymore, man. He's not good. He's so bad. He's so old. He's so washed. But hey, let's see if he can land that one punch to flatline Cody Brundage. I have my doubts. But the betting odds don't, because they have him at -155 to +130. I don't know what they're smoking. I would have Brundage as the favorite. I think it's hard to trust Abdul at this point. I'd have Brundage -120, 125. Get a takedown, and you win easily. If Brundage is any fight IQ, you just shoot. It's the same thing as Agapova and Luana Santos. Shoot immediately, you win. You fucking win. It's not a hard fight to win. Abdulrazak Alhassan is awful. Literally awful. Brundage, just shoot. because if Brundage gets hit, he's going out cold. But if you shoot on him, you can't get knocked out. So do that. So I'm going Cody Brundage. I never thought I would say that sentence. I'm going Cody Brundage. He should win this fight. He's the better fighter. Again, another thing I didn't want to say. He's the better, more talented fighter, man. Simple as that. I can't really put it in simpler terms. So, not much I can say. How do I think Cody Brundage wins this fight? I think it's either going to be a boring 15-minute decision, or more likely, he's going to get a finish. Which, if in Denver, if this was in the Apex, I would probably go decision. Since this is in Denver, where Alhassan is going to be so tired, I'm going to go with a submission. Or a TKO, maybe. But, like, he only has 2 TKOs in UFC, and they're a slam and a lucky punch against Tresean Gore. So, I'm going to go Cody Brundage by submission in a second. I think he's going to tire out Abdul so badly that Abdul will probably just give him the submission. So, he might just tap to strikes. Fuck. So, give me Cody Brundage by submission in a second. Yeah, this is gonna go bad for Abdul. He's so old. Derek Lewis if he was in any other weight class. Simple as way I could put it. Cody Brundage by submission in a second. Betting odds are way off. After that, not gonna say much about this fight because I know it's gonna happen. It's gonna annoy me, but I'm gonna be biased anyway. As in our second fight of the main card, we head to featherweight 4. Christian C-Rod Rodriguez versus Juicy J Julian Erosa. Not gonna say much here. C-Rod, not good. Never has been. Yeah, you beat Josh Williams. Garbage. Be a young, inexperienced Raul Rosas. The rematch would go differently. Cameron Simon. Talbot did it better. You didn't beat Isaac Dokarian, so... C-Rod's not good. I don't see the hype. He's not a good fighter. He's done nothing. The best thing he's done is be an inexperienced Raul Rosas. Like, come on, you being an 18-year-old. Good for you, dude. You're 20. You're 26 years old. Ooh. And then for Juicy J, we know Juicy J. He's super old. He has no chin. If you breathe on him, you might knock him out. I hope he wins. I'm gonna cheer for Juicy J. He's not gonna win. He's as simple as that. He's not gonna fucking win. I can hope. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna put my pick in as him out of pure bias. He's probably gonna get knocked out or a decision. So give me Juicy J by decision. You can only hope, right? I'm gonna hope. Juicy J, please, please, please. After that, we had to welterweight for a terrible fight between Gabriel Mahinta Bonfim versus Ange, the last quitter Loosa. Fraud versus quitter. Oh boy. Not gonna say much here. Let's talk about Gabriel Bonfim. Bonfim in the UFC is 2-1 in his coming off Contender Series. In his 2 wins, he beat Lazez and Trevin Giles until he got fraud checked by Nicholas Dalby. Good job. Yeah, Bonfim sucks. Like, the Bonfim, it's incredible how far the Bonfim boys fell so quickly. Ismael got destroyed by Benoit. Gabriel got ran through by Nicholas Dalby. These kids got fraud checked quickly. At least Ismael got back on track and against a half decent fighter. If Gabriel wins this fight, you beat Ange Loosa. You still got fraud checked. So, yeah, Bonfim sucks. He can only beat cans, so whatever. Judged by his opponent, the quitter, Ange Loosa. Ange in the UFC is 2-1-1. Well, actually, really, 2-2. His 2 wins are AJ Fletcher and Reese McKee. His 2 losses are Mansour Levez, somehow keeps coming up, and Brian Battle, because he completely quit against Brian Battle, because he knew he had no chance. So, yeah. Losa's a terrible fighter. No gas tank. No fucking blocking. The only thing he has is he's tough. That's his only fucking thing he has. He's really tough. That's it. He's not good. He's actually terrible. And he's a quitter. He has no heart. So, he's tough, but no heart. That makes no fucking sense, but that's Ange Loosa for you. So, yeah, he sucks. He's not a UFC level fighter. Never will be. The betting odds for this fight have Bonfim minus 400 plus 310. I wouldn't have him that high. I'd have Bonfim maybe minus 200, 250, being generous. Yeah, Bonfim's a better fighter, but he's not good. They found a one dude who's shittier than he is, so this is fraud versus can, or fraud versus quitter, my bad. So I'm gonna go for the fraud. I think the fraud's the better fighter, but they both suck. They both suck, so give me Gabriel Bonfim by decision. I don't think he's gonna finish Ange Loosa, but I think this fight could easily be a joke by like the third round. But yeah, give me Bonfim by decision. They both suck. Fraud versus can. Quitter. And a can. They're both cans. Fuck. After that, we head to our fourth fight of the main card. The first real main card fight. As it's the fourth one. As in this banger, the fight of the card. The fight of the night. Someone's getting knocked out and I can't wait. We have Drew Dober versus Gene Lord Assassin Silva. This was meant to be Drew Dober versus, I don't remember, to be honest with you, Mike Davis. Oh yeah, who's shocked Mike Davis pulled out of the fight. Nah, I'm happy we got this fight instead. This is way better. What a banger. Do I need to tell you this fight's amazing? Because this fight's amazing. Drew Dober. I don't need to say much. Drew Dober is Drew Dober. If he's on the card, either he's getting knocked out or he's knocking someone out. Like, 9 KOs in the UFC, 3 decisions. Like, he's good. He's old. Excuse me. He's getting old. He is 35. And he has taken a lot of damage, and we have seen that kind of backfire on him a lot in the last couple fights. He got dropped by McKinney, he got dropped by fucking Matt Favola, Bobby Green pieced him up, but he has still won some fights, so again, he is getting old, but it's Drew Dober, man. You can't count out Drew Dober. He's gonna go in there and do what Drew Dober does best. Fight until someone drops. That's why we all love Drew Dober. To talk about his opponent, Gene Silva. Yes, that Gene Silva that just fought 2 weeks ago. He's stepping in on short notice up a weight class to fight Drew Dober. Good for him, man. Gene is of course 2-0 in the UFC, beating Weston Wilson and Charles Jourdain. Again, Jourdain fight at 303, which was the last card. So he said, yeah, I didn't take much damage. I can make 155. Let's go. This is gonna be amazing. I cannot wait for this fight. We know what Gene Silva does. He swings with everything he throws. He tries to kill you. And he killed Charles Jourdain. Can he beat another experienced veteran like Drew Dober? Let's find the fuck out. The bang odds are a pick'em at minus 110, as they should be. Take a guess. This is one of those fights where I just say, watch as a fan, who cares who wins? Either Drew Dober's getting knocked out or Gene Silva's getting knocked out. Either way, it's gonna be great. Why complain? Why fucking really care about predictions? Let's just sit back and enjoy this. Someone's gonna get knocked the fuck out, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna put my pick in as Drew Dober, because I always do that. Drew Dober's my boy. If Gene Silva wins, though, I don't care. Respect to him. That's even more impressive. So, give me Drew Dober by knockout in the first. I don't know if I'm gonna be right, and to be honest, I don't care. I just want to see someone get knocked out. Probably gonna happen. Probably gonna happen. Respect to Gene Silva, man. Fight of the night. Bare minimum, we're gonna get highlight of the night, and I cannot wait. Someone's getting knocked out, and I'm excited. After that, we head into our co-main event of the evening. I love this matchmaking, man. I truly do. This should not be the co-main, but I love this matchmaking. As we head to our co-main event of the evening in the welterweight division, as we have Santiago, Argentinian dagger Ponzinibbio versus the king of kung fu, Muslim Salikhov. Again, I love this matchmaking. UFC finally learned some basic fucking ideas, like old guy should only fight old guy. Like, this is way better than saying Ponzinibbio versus, I don't know, Michael Morales or some young dude that's gonna fucking destroy him, or vice versa from Muslim Salikhov. It's just, I'm so happy they did this. I'm so fucking happy they did logical booking for once. I know it's the UFC, you don't hear that often. They did some fucking common sense. Hey, we have these two old dudes who are super old, super washed, and can barely fight anymore. Why not they fight each other? Holy shit! Genius! UFC, do more of these fights. If these old washed fighters should only be fighting each other. No one wants to see them fight these young guys unless they can still fight. Like, just because you're old doesn't mean you can't fight anymore. Fucking Jan Blachowicz is right there. First fight that came to mind. But guys like these guys who are not Jan Blachowicz, who are super old and washed, should fight each other. But enough about that. Let's talk about Santiago Ponzinibbio. Ponzi in the UFC is 11-6. Some of his best wins are Sean Strickland, Court McGee, Zach Cummings, Gunnar Nelson, Mike Perry, Neil Magny, Miguel Baeza, and Alex Morono. His losses are Ryan LaFleur, I think that was Ultimate Fighter finale. Lorenzo Larkin, Leach, Geoff Neal, Michelle Pereira, and Kevin Holland. It's such a shame what happened to Ponzi's career, because look at this fucking streak he was on. Holy shit, this actually meant to happen. I did not know he was meant to fight Salikhov in the past. Like, look at, he's on a, 7 fight winning streak. He was one of the best in the division. And then just bullshit started happening for years. Just bullshit on bullshit, and he didn't get to fight again until 2021. He fought in 2018 and then 2021. And by the time he came back, he was not the same fighter. The Leech KO'd him. He had one of the best fights of the year with Baeza, and he won. Geoff Neal beat him in a snoozer. Michelle Pereira beat him in a banger. Alex Morono almost beat him. He got the knockout late, the comeback win, and Kevin Holland destroyed him and KO'd him. So it's a shame what had happened to Ponzi. Like, dude, had him and Gunnar Nelson kind of the same. Him, Gunnar Nelson, Zabit are all sitting in the same boat. Like, man, we could have done so much better. Like, they're just guys who had all this talent, but never, ever could fucking stay healthy. It's like, fuck. Such a shame these guys got fucking injured. Like, who knows what Ponzi could have done? Could he have won the belt? Could he have beat fucking Usman? Probably. Could he have beat fucking Tyron Woodley? Yes. Like, this dude was so good. And now he's 37 years old and barely... You can make the case he should lose to Muslim Salikhov. Oh. Man, I like Ponzi, man. Who doesn't? He's just old. He's old, man. Injuries fucked him. At least he could come back, unlike the Beat and even Gunnar Nelson. I know he's fought, but might as well not have. So I'm happy he has had a second UFC career, pretty much. But man, what could have been? He's still good to an extent, but he can barely fight anymore, man. If he wins this fight and he retires, I'm okay. I'm not upset. I'd be okay with that. Hope he does, to be honest. So, but I doubt it. He still has a lot of fire left in the tank, so see what he can do. Talk about his opponent, Muslim Salikhov. Speaking of guys who need to retire, and Muslim's even worse than Ponzi at this point. Muslim in the UFC is 6-4. His wins are... He beat Melvin Gillard. Did not know that. Ricky Rainey, Taleb, Leonardo Starpoli, Zaleski, Francisco Trinaldo, and Andre Filho. His losses are Alex Garcia, The Leech, Nicholas Dalby, and Randy Brown. Salikhov was a good fighter. He wasn't Ponzi's level in his prime, but he was still a decent fighter. He got a couple nice wins. Zaleski, Trinaldo, he was good. But even when he got to the UFC, I think he was old. I think he was a pretty old dude even when he got to the UFC. Yeah, he was already 33 when he got here. So his best days were already behind him. To almost, yeah, like pretty much. So what was left in the tank he used on this winning streak. And then he by 2022 he was really old, and that's when he started losing to the Leech. He won, but it was fucking Andre Filho, who can't beat Andre Filho. He lost a very uneventful fight to Dalby, and then Randy Brown just KO'd him earlier in the year. So yeah, Salikhov is done. The dude's 40 years old and he's showing it. Yeah, he can still throw a good kick, but his chin's gone. His cardio is not great. He's just old. He's 40. Like, again, he can still throw some nice kicks, but if you don't let him hit you with his kicks, then you're gonna beat him. So I don't know. Unlike Ponzinibbio is old now because all washed because his career got fucked. Salikhov is just old, so yeah, it sucks. But at least he's fighting a fellow old man instead of a young guy. So yeah, probably his last fight. Win and especially lose it should be his last UFC fight at least. He can go to PFL and make some money, who cares? But in the UFC, this should be his last fight. It should be Ponzi's last fight also, but if he wins, why not? Give him another fight. Not many old dudes left for him to fight, but yeah, whatever. The Bang on first fight have Ponzinibbio minus 200 to plus 165. Yeah, hard to disagree. I would say Ponzinibbio would be my lock of the night if Luana Santos wasn't on the card. He's the better fighter. He's 4 years younger. He's way better as a fighter now in this point in their careers, and he should win this fight pretty easily. Outside of getting kicked in the head, he's better. His cardio is better. His striking is better. His chin's probably better. Durability. He's, I think, a better fighter now, and they're in this point in their career. So, yeah, I'm going Santiago Ponzinibbio. How? The altitude could be really bad. Like, these two are really fucking old. I could see a finish. I wouldn't be shocked at a finish. I'm leaning a decision. Either right now, I might lean decision. Again, Ponzi is very old, and so is Muslim. So, give me Ponzinibbio by decision as of right now. Maybe I'll change it. I doubt it. But right now, I'm leaning Ponzi by decision. So. But Ponzi should, either way, Ponzi should win. He's a better fighter in 2024. So, sorry, Muslim, but at least you're losing to a fellow vet. I love this matchmaking. And now, time for the lame event of the evening. God, this is gonna be fucking awful. Our main event of UFC Denver. Macy, why did you pull out of this fight? This could have been Macy Barber and Tracy Cortez. That would be way better. Fuck! As our main event of the evening in the women's flyweight division, this is going to be an awful fight. As we have Thug, Rose, Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. We're really going to watch this garbage. Fuck! As we all know, this was meant to be Thug Rose versus Macy Barber, but Macy Barber pulled out, 2 weeks ago? Not even. And Cortez stepped in. Cortez was meant to fight Miranda Maverick next week, so she's just, fuck it, I'll fight a week sooner. Well, fuck it, why not? I don't hate this as a fight. Fuck, after the Hebath Rose fight, I said you should do this fight. I think it made a lot of sense. It's a really intriguing fight. When it's not a fucking main event for 5 rounds. If this was a co-main to a real fight, insert fight here, just be a cool fight. Just be like, okay, the veteran versus the inexperienced hype train. I'm intrigued. I'm not fucking intrigued for 25 minutes. Why? Why is she getting main event still? Not gonna say much on this fight. Rose is old. Should not be, well, she should still be fighting, but she should not be main eventing a card. She's boring and old. I've never seen someone live off 2 KOs more. Whaley and Joanna. Great moments. Some of the most insane moments in title fight history. That's it. That's all she's fucking done. That's all she's fucking done. She had one of the worst fights ever not long after it. And then Tracy Cortez, on the other hand, is unproven. This is what the one good thing about this fight, the rare good thing, we're gonna finally see if Tracy Cortez is actually good, because we have not seen that yet. Her first 3 UFC wins are against Kish, Edgar, and Mello, who are garbage. She fought Gato and Jasmine. Those are 2 really good wins, but she didn't look overly impressive in those. So, can she finally look impressive and get a ginormous win? It'd be nice. It'd be really fucking nice. She's only 30 years old. She's a really hyped up fighter. The UFC really likes her. I wonder why. This is gonna prove a lot. Is she just Paige Van Zandt 8.0, 8.0 because we have like 10 of them, or is she actually talented? We're gonna find out Saturday night. In a very winnable fight. And again, I get short notice. Not really. Again, she was meant to fight next week, literally next weekend, in the Apex against Miranda Maverick. So it's not really short notice. It's just a week sooner. So I still think it should have been Natalia Silva who stepped in. You know. We're gonna get all the questions we have about Cortez answered here, which I'm very happy about that. Because the only thing I am happy about with this fight is this fight fucking blows. God damn it. Fight sucks, man. But whatever. Trust me, I want to be wrong. But I hope this is the fight of the goddamn decade. But I know it's gonna be boring as shit for 25. I'm not confident many times. I'm so confident this goes 25 minutes. There's no fucking way this finish happens. Who's getting finished? Who's doing the finish? Unless an injury happens, I don't count that. So, oh Christ. I don't want to watch this fight for 25 minutes. For 15 would be okay. 25 minutes. Fuck you. Whatever. The betting odds have Rose at minus 225. I think that's a little insane. I would have to pick him. Rose is old. Cortez is unproven. I don't think you can really be confident in either side. I wouldn't be. If I wasn't biased, I wouldn't be. Actually, I don't like either of these two. So I'm fucking biased the other way. I don't like Rose because she's annoying and old, and she's Holly Holm 2.0. And Trace Cortez as of right now is just Paige Van Zant's 8.0. So I don't like either of these two. I don't care for either of these two. I don't want to watch this for fucking 25 minutes. Denver, you deserve better. The rest of the card's good. You deserve better. Can Drew Dober be the main event, please? Oh, whatever. I'm going to Trace Cortez. Pure biased. I hope she's actually good, so we don't have to watch a Rose main event again. Because you know if Rose wins this fight, she's getting a title shot, which is bullshit. Fucking bullshit. If Cortez wins, at least she has earned it. Because Rose has done nothing to earn shit. If you beat Tracy Cortez, that's not title shot earning. Go fight Earn Blanchard. So, Tracy, please win. Please, please, please. No one wants to watch Rose win another boring fight. She's so old. She's so boring. She's not good. She left Trevor Whitman for no reason. Please, Tracy, win this fight. I'm going Tracy Cortez by decision. What's it? What? 7%? What the fuck are you thinking, people? Give me Tracy Cortez by decision. I don't want to watch this. Boom. Those are my picks. To go over them one more time. Evan Elder by decision. Josh Fremd by, I think I said knockout in a second. Yeah, I think I said something like that. Luana Santos, my lock of the night by submission in the first. Montel Jackson by decision. Jasmine Jasudavicius by decision. Joshua Van by decision. Cody Brundage by submission in the second. Julian Erosa by decision. Gabriel Bonfim by decision. Drew Dober by knockout in the first. Santiago Ponzinibbio by decision. And Tracy Cortez by decision. Bang. Is it a good card? No. There's good fights on it. Like I said, this span of fights here is pretty good. This is amazing. I really like this fight. And this as a fight is fine. As a main event, it's bad. But then you have some duds. Like, this is terrible. This is not great. This is not great. This is terrible. And again, this is a main event. So I'm excited just because the fights are back. But man, I'm not excited for some of the fights on this card. So it's good to be back. It's good to have fights back. It's good to be breaking down fights again. But man, at what cost? So, but enough rambling. An hour and a half later. I hope you enjoyed the video. You'll hear me recap this shitty card. Sunday, 1 p.m. EST, hopefully. I doubt it. At least Sunday, for sure. And, yeah. Now, unless I'm going to say something, I'm happy fights are back. Not thrilled about this card, but there's some fights I'm very excited for. So, there's some good fights, there's some bad fights. It's a borderline Apex card, but it's at least it's in an arena. So, that'll bring some value to it. So, UFC, respect to fucking trying to save this card with Dober, Van, fucking Jackson, Elder. Good attempt, and you did pretty well. Yeah, still couldn't get us a real main event. Fuck you. But, thank you and fuck you. Thank you, fuck you, bye. There you go. But enough of me rambling. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I am trying to think, I've said a lot, and I don't even remember half the things I've said. But yeah, unless I'm forgetting to say something, which no, I'm not. As always, RX out. Good vibes only and always.